All right. Welcome and thank you. We're here live at TA Kitchener, and my name is Marsha, and I'm here to talk about Maytag washer and dryers. And we have a very special guest today. Look who we have here today. Oh, hi, Everest. Come here. Come here. Hi. So you might be wondering, why is Everest joining us today? Well, she's going to be the spokes puppy for our new Pet Pro laundry pair from Maytag. So some really interesting stats over the last couple of years. More than 1/3 of pet owners have introduced a new pet to their family. That means only over 58% of all Canadian households have a pet. And that equates to about 3 million pets that have been brought into families' homes since the beginning of the pandemic. So, pets have always been a big part of our life, but since the pandemic, people were really looking for ways to connect when they couldn't connect to other people. So, having lots of pets in your home is really great, but now the next question is, how do I get all that dog hair off my clothes and bedding and pillows and everything else? So Maytag took this to heart, and we started doing a lot of research around how customers were currently managing pet hair on their clothes and bedding, and what some of the things that they were doing, and then maybe we could come up with ways that would do that better for them. So for anybody who has joined us, and maybe you'd like to tell us in the chat, how are you currently managing pet hair on your clothes? Because there's a lot of different ways. When we were doing research, there's a lot of different ways that customers were trying to manage the pet hair. They were doing this both mechanically and chemically. So some of the things people will do is they'll use sticky rollers, or they'll use they might put clothes in the dryer before they put them in the washer to try to loosen up and remove hair. They might use different things that you can put in the washer to dissolve. They might use, there's all sorts of different ways that people were trying to remove pet hair prior to or in the washing machine or in the dryer. So, another thing that we noticed too is that people were doing, changing their washing behaviors when they have pets in their homes. So, they weren't just mixing all their loads. If they had a heavily soiled load with pet hair, baby dog beds or towels, they would wash those separately, or they would be doing dummy loads in between their washing sections. So if they did a load of heavily soiled dog or cat hair bedding, they would then run a dummy load and then run their own clothes. Same with the dryer, they might run dummy loads in between. And essentially, our research told us that our consumers are doing all these things, and it's costing them time, it's costing them money, and perhaps it's costing them some water usage as well. So that's when we put our engineers to the task of washing machines and dryers for the pet lover in you. Okay, so how did we do this? Well, if you want to take a look in here, the biggest thing that we've changed in the washing machine is we've created a washing machine with a filter. Now, this is the first of its kind, and I'm going to tell you how it works. But first, I just wanted to show you exactly this filter system that's built right into the laundry pair to help us to remove and get rid of that pet hair that's on our clothes in the washing machine. A lot of customers ask I know I'm washing clothes or bedding with a lot of pet hair on it, but where is that pet hair going? Is it staying in the clothes? Is it getting caught in different gaskets and stuff? Is it going down the drain? What is it doing? Well, some and all of that. So we wanted to have a way to better maximize this. So when we put this product in the market, before doing that, we did a lot of testing. And we test this machine with 2 grams of dog hair. So you can see this. I went to my local friendly groomer and got exactly 2 grams of pet hair, and that's what that would look like. So how we did our testing for this machine was we bought 28 black cotton t-shirts, and that represents a typical 8-load pound. And we distributed the pet hair all over that, the 2 grams of pet hair, and then we washed the t-shirts in the washing machine and dried it in the Pet Pro dryer. And we then weighed and measured all of the hair that we were able to collect from the filter and from the lint machine, and we were able to collect 1.46 grams of dog hair back or pet hair back. So we know that we were getting a significant amount of that pet hair off the clothes in both the washer and the dryer. So just a little bit on how we did that testing and how confident we are in how this machine is going to take care of the pet hair in your clothes. So if you look over here, you can see that, besides being a machine that handles pet hair, it's a really great washer. So if you didn't have a pet or you're not doing a pet load cycle, that's fine. We have a quick wash, which is a 30-minute cycle. We have heavy duty, jeans, whites, bulky items, so fairly standard settings there for your machine. And then on any of these cycles, you can run a Pet Pro cycle. So you can see here when I click Pet Pro, when I click it on, my little paw is going to come on. Isn't that so cute? So I know that we are now running a Pet Pro cycle. So what's great about that is it runs just like this. So if I run it with jeans, for instance, what it's going to do is it's actively going to fill the machine with more water. And why that's necessary is if you look back in the tub here, you can see that on my normal sensing loads without the Pet Pro activated, I'm going to have an active fill that goes in and around these first two lines here. And I've just put those on so you could get a bit of a visual. But essentially those sensor fills kind of typically go below the filter lines here. Okay, once I've engaged Pet Pro, I'm automatically going to go to a deeper fill. And that deeper fill is going to come up above this filter. And then you'll see that these fins have been very specifically designed to create water flow that's going to push the water through this filter so that I can collect any and all of that dog hair or pet hair. I say dogs because I have dogs and that's what my challenge is. But it's going to push all of that pet hair into the filter and into the collection basket here. Now, once you've done your load on the pet cycle here, you want to make sure that you take this out and dump it every single time. But what's nice about the way this is designed is that all the pet hair will sit in the bottom here. And you'll never need to touch it. Don't worry, it's not like cleaning out the gross shower drain. You're going to just take this out and you'll be able to just dump that right into the garbage can without needing to touch anything. And it's actually not that wet because you have gone through a spin cycle. It's not going to be like wet and gross or anything like that. It's going to just be really easy to manage. Okay, so engaging the Pet Pro gives you more fill, and it automatically gives you a deep fill rinse rather than a spray rinse. So those are the two things in the washer that's really going to work to remove that pet hair.
Sandra in the chat is asking, how long does the pet cycle take?
It adds approximately 10 minutes, and that's usually more at the end of the cycle because we're doing that deep fill rinse. But it's more in the water cycle, but it does add a little bit more to help that water push more of the hair through the filter.
So it's adding more time per cycle, not having its own cycle, right?
Correct. Adding more time per cycle, adding more water per cycle, and giving that the water a chance to go through that filter.
Awesome. Thanks for the question, Sandra.
Yeah, and it doesn't add any. A lot of people used to compensate by adding more aggressive wash cycles or more temperature. That's not really going to affect how to get hair off the clothes. So, but adding a little bit more water and then this action of these very specially designed wings here that push that water through that filter, collecting the dog hair, the pet hair, and then getting it through this filter.
Awesome.
Okay. So that's really where the magic is in the washing machine. Now, if we switch over and take a quick look at the dryer, you can see that the dryer is a really efficient way because it's actually blowing air through the clothes, right? Which automatically lifts hair, debris, or lint. That's why we have to clean out our lint trap because it's lifting lint and particles off of the clothing. So it does a good job of lifting lint and pet hair off. And then this is where it would collect. So this is one of the biggest lint traps in the industry, and this is a front loop airflow. So there's a couple of different ways that dryers collect lint and any debris that might be in here. And this one does a very good job of collecting any debris that's in the dryer because it actually starts flowing from the front and blows through to the back. So it does a full front to back loop drying cycle and collects all the dog hair while it's in there. So just like the washing machine, if you look here and you engage your Pet Pro, of course you're going to get that cute little Pet Pro paw that comes on there. But what's going to happen here is you're going to have all of your normal drying cycles, again, just like you did in your washer. But your drying cycle is, if you add the Pet Pro, is going to, at the end of your drying cycle, is going to continue to tumble for about 40 minutes, 45 minutes without a heating element. So that's just air that's now flowing through the clothes to help it rid itself of any of the remaining pet hair that might be in your clothes or your bedding or whatever else it is that you're washing. So that's the value of this. And remember, we can get, of that 2 grams, it's about, 1.42 grams off of the clothing from the original source.
Tina loves the attention to the detail with the paw print there.
Right?
Sandra thinks it's adorable.
It's just too adorable. And guys, as I'm talking to you, and if any of this is interesting to you, right now we're running a special. If you buy today, if you're in the market for a washing machine and a dryer and you've got a pet, it's $100 off for the pair today. Only today. So come on down, get to your local closest TA and buy your Pet Pro laundry pair today. Mm-hmm. So $100 off. Did I have anybody else just join us, or any other questions coming up through the? Just
let us know, folks, as we're continuing on here. Right? Feel free to interrupt with questions. It's okay. That's why our live show works great. Right? That's what we're here for.
Did anyone tell us in the chat how they currently get rid of dog hair on their? Or I keep saying dog. I'm sure many of you have cats, but I have a dog at home, so I keep saying dogs. But how do you guys get rid of pet hair currently in your clothes?
Let us know. Let us know, and we'll continue showing you things while you guys. Let us know how you're getting rid of that dog hair and cat hair and
hamster
gorilla hair,
whatever you got.
Yeah.
One of the things that when we were looking at this, we were all talking about the different ways that we personally manage dog hair or pet hair or cat hair in our homes. And one of the things that for me, I have clothes that I like to hang dry, but sometimes hang drying is not great because it's not that I want, right? So I'd often hang dry the clothes because that's how I want to dry them. But then I would pop them into the dryer for 10 or 15 minutes with no heat at the end of the drying, just to get any of that dog hair off, right? So for me, that's just wasted time and it's wasted energy. I found out through talking with people that some people put their clothes in the dryer to try to remove pet hair before they put it in the washer. So again, that's really not time efficient. Or they're using, the roller tapes, or they're using, somebody was telling me that they did a YouTube search for how to get pet hair off of their clothes. And there was 31 million hits on how to do this. So it's a thing. But secondly, some people were saying that they blow up a balloon and get static on the balloon, and then they use it to collect pet hair. There was all these creative, wacky ways to get pet hair off your clothes. So clearly it's a challenge for our consumer, and it's a challenge we'd like to help them with. Yes.
Sandra's saying that she tried the Bounce pet hair dryer sheets.
And is she happy with them?
I don't know. Yeah, let us know, Sandra. Let us know if you like that, okay?
Yeah. So I just want to run through it again. I would like to introduce you to the new Maytag Pet Pro. 58% of all Canadian households have a pet. And since the pandemic, we've had up to 3 million more pets introduced to households across Canada. And with more pets means more love, but it also means more pet hair. So we really wanted to give our consumers a way to manage pet hair, not only just in the dryer, not through mechanical or chemical means, but in the washing machine itself. So this new washing machine, it is a great washing machine. We're talking about the Pet Pro feature, but of course, we have all your different cycles here: jeans, heavy duty, whites, and we have a great quick wash that washes a load in about 30 minutes at about a 3-pound load. Okay. But when you're looking at this for the Pet Pro option, all you have to do is come over here and engage that Pet Pro option. Of course, you'll see that cute little dog print there, and that lets you know you've engaged this option. And this option can be engaged in any one of these cycle choices here. And what it does is it gives you a little bit more water. And that water is really, it's not going to improve the cleaning performance. That's really not what it's meant for. Be able to push more water through the clothes so that it releases a bit more of that pet hair, and then that pet hair can travel through the filter. So when you look here, I've just given us some visual indicators of where you might normally see a fill. So these first two lines is approximately where a sensor fill will go. And again, sensor fills are always dependent on the size and the weight of the load that you're running. That's why it's, not specific. It's just a guideline. But when you engage Pet Pro, the water is going to fill just a little bit higher because it wants to come up and above this filter. This agitator is very specifically designed to create water flow that pushes the water in, down, and through this filter so that all the water cycling through this tub, carrying any of that pet hair, is going to carry it right into this filter. And then at the end of the cycle, it can be cleaned out by just simply taking it to the garbage and dropping it in. You don't even have to touch it, I promise. Just drop it right in, okay? And by the way, it does collect other things. So we're talking about pet hair, but I've been known to shed a little bit too. So it's going to collect any of your hair and some lint and stuff as well too. So
I'm sure even if, someone's child has left their permission slip in their pocket and it's now shredded in the wash, that they'll be still pretty good at collecting that too, because that can be a big mess, right?
Absolutely. Well, and a lot of times too, one of the other things that people talk about is doing athleisure wear or cleaning black clothes, again, where you hang it. Sometimes what's on your clothes isn't even pet hair. It might be lint or things like that that's just not coming off in the dryer. This will do a great job of helping the washing machine rid your clothes of even some of those other things that you would like to be off of your nice black Lululemons or your black pants or your t-shirts. So, yes, specifically designed for the water to flow through that. So there'll be a little bit more water. And by default, rather than a spin rinse, you're going to get a deep fill rinse. So it will add a little bit of time to the cycle that you've chosen. And that's just to accommodate those two different things that are happening there. Okay. As per usual, your system is at the back here for loading your detergent and softener if you use it. And then this machine, the Pet Pro system, the MVW 6500, that's always a mouthful, MVW 6500, also comes with a faucet at the back here. So another thing we notice is that a lot of customers don't have an actual running sink in their laundry room. So oftentimes they'd be doing their pre-treating in another bathroom or a different room of the house, maybe even the kitchen, or they might have a little bucket in their laundry room that's designed for that. So this was just another feature that we felt is great addition to the laundry room, to have an active faucet in the washing machine to be able to pre-treat any of your items.
Especially for people in condos, I assume, right? Like where you get you're tucked away in a closet somewhere and that's all you got. There's no sink there.
Exactly. So that's a great example of where you might be doing it in another room in your home, right? And so a lot of people want to know, okay, well, if I've done some pre-treating in there, what happens to the water? Well, if I keep the lid up, the water is going to drain in about 10 minutes. If I put the lid down and perhaps I'm doing some soaking, it will auto drain in 3 hours if I don't do anything else. It will also auto drain if I select a cycle and start a cycle, because it wants to start with clean water rather than water that perhaps is dirty from the pre-treating. Okay.
Well, Kathy said, wow, what a great feature.
It is a great feature. Yeah, people really love it. Even if you do have a sink in your laundry room, sometimes it's nice just to give it a little scrub in the washing machine. So you can see here that we're also showing off the new color for Maytag today.
Yes, and this is a great color.
What do you think we called it?
I have no idea.
It is volcano black. And if you get a nice close-up of it here, you can see that it's not just black, but it has this really nice matte
It's easier to show over here.
It. Yeah. And it stays nice and clean. It doesn't have fingerprints. It has a really nice texture to it. And people just really gravitate to having... People want something different in their laundry rooms than white, but they don't always want to go into the apple greens or big vivid blues or anything like that. So this black gives them a nice alternative without being too far down the color spectrum. So it does come in white, but we're also showcasing our new volcano black. Okay.
It's hot fire.
Yeah, exactly. So don't forget about the Pet Pro option. And then when you pair it today only, if you buy this pair, you're going to get another $100 discount. So make sure you get to your closest TA appliance and take advantage of this really special offer that we're having for today only. $100 off on the pair. And so for the dryer, one of the things you'll notice is, we have different ways of drying clothes, and we have some dryers that have the lint capture at the front, and then some dryers that have the lint capture at the back. We specifically chose this kind of dryer for this purpose because it does a really great job of picking up the lint, and then therefore any pet hair that might still be remaining in the clothes after the Pet Pro system in the washer. So this lint is the largest lint collector in the industry, and so it's really doing a great job of collecting, all that pet hair, all that lint, all that hamster hair, all the gorilla hair that you have that you talked about.
Now, Sandra was asking if the discount applies to online sales as well too, or do they have to come in?
I don't think that you have to come in.
What?
I'm going to make an executive decision. You don't have to come in. If you're buying on the TA website, that's totally fine.
Great.
Yeah.
Because they should be even able to buy like through the streams and stuff.
Yeah, right through the stream, it should be applicable. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go, Sandra.
So, like the washer, the dryer works a little bit differently too, that you have all of your regular cycles. So, your more dry, your heavy duty, air only, all of these great things. Any one of these that you choose, you can choose to then add the Pet Pro option. Okay, so we know it's engaged when you have your Pet Pro on there. Okay. What this is going to do is it's going to dry your cycle per normal. So you've got sensors in here. It's going to dry your cycle with your heated element on as per normal. But what's going to happen at the end of the dry cycle? So when the machine detects that the load is dry, it's going to continue to tumble with the heater off because we don't want to over dry your clothes. But it's going to turn the heater off and it's going to continue to tumble air for about 40 or 45 minutes. And that just gives the dryer just that extra time to blow air through the fabric, blow off any of the remaining pet hair or debris, and have it go through that filter. So that's what the Pet Pro feature on the dryer is really showcasing there.
Awesome.
Yeah. Remember, it comes in our new Volcano Black and, of course, white for our traditionalists out there. But the black is kind of a nice little feature that's coming out for Maytag now.
It's very cool. It's like if Batman had to do his laundry.
Right? The Batmobile, for sure. And in some of our more open concept laundry rooms, it is nice to jazz it up a little bit with a nice color that's not, too far down the line, right? Awesome. Any questions in the chat?
So far, we got them all.
All right. Well, if you weren't around for the beginning when I was talking about how we were testing these machines, when our engineers configured and developed this idea about having a filter in our laundry machine, we of course wanted to test the efficacy and make sure we were doing a good job of collecting pet hair in the actual washer and in the filter. And then of course, to finish it in the dryer. So what they did was they went to their groomer and they got 2 grams of pet hair, and they wanted it to be light pet hair so they could see it on black clothing, and they cleaned it and they washed it and they made sure that it was distributed over 28 black cotton t-shirts. Okay, so they, very nicely sprinkled it on, got it all in there, and got those t-shirts all covered in pet hair. Okay, so we knew that we're starting with exactly 2 grams of pet hair. So if anybody was curious as to what 2 grams of pet hair looks like, this is what it looks like. Why would you be curious about that? I don't know. So what they did then is they took these 28 black cotton t-shirts and they put them in the washer and they did it on normal, and they did the Pet Pro feature on here. They then took this load, put it in the dryer and added the Pet Pro dryer on there. And then what they did was they took the hair that they were able to collect in the filter in the washing machine and in the lint capture in the dryer. They weighed that, and what they were left with was, I think, 1.42 grams of pet hair. So that means it captured a significant amount of that 2 grams that went into the washing machine. So that was how they tested their efficacy there. Okay.
Very cool. Very cool.
And then this is the filter that we're looking at here. You won't see this in any other machine. This is a Maytag exclusive. This is just to be able to collect any of that lint, pet hair, pet fur, and be able to discard of it at the end of your cycle. We do recommend that you clean this at the end of every cycle. it's perfect for collecting pet hair when you mean to and you've put the Pet Pro cycle on. But like I mentioned before, it's going to do a good job of collecting anything that might be wayward in your machine. So, if you're somebody who maybe you're a hairdresser and you have a lot of people hair on your clothes, or, maybe you're doing clothes that you like to hang and it collects a lot of lint. It will do a better job of starting to collect those things from your clothes as well. So it's, while it's designed for and does a great job with pet hair, it's going to do a good job with other things as well.
Katie's asking how many more gallons of water does it use compared to other Maytag washers?
Yeah, it's not going to use that much more. I don't have a very specific, it's hard to give you a specific amount of gallons, only because it is still a sensor load, right? So it's going to sense how much clothes you have in here, but it's going to give you about another, I don't know.
We showed the difference in the water rise mark.
We're giving it more in inches. So the difference is that the water is going to make sure to come up and above that filter level to make sure that water is flowing through that filter so that it moves all the pet hair through the filter.
So it's really going to come down to more like how many times they use that feature, right? If they're not using it all the time, it wouldn't add more water. And then how many more clothes are in there that have that pet hair all over it, right?
You got it.
So it's still very variable.
It is variable. Like there's no real standard, because if I'm doing a larger load, then that fill becomes more because it's still a sensing load, right? If I'm running a small load, that might be a little bit more water that gets added because it wants to come up over that fill line there.
Does it still meet the ester standards?
Always.
Wait 1 second here.
Energy standards?
Yeah, sorry, does it still meet the ester standards with the extra water usage?
I think they're asking for E-Star.
E-Star, sorry, yeah.
Yes. So not all laundry machines are E-Star rated. I'm going to have to double check if this one is E-Star rated. Maybe Abed, could you check to see if this is E-Star rated? But it meets all of our energy requirements. So and the government has very strict requirements for energy requirements, and that's usually based on water fill. It's not ever based on the electricity used, because it's very minimal electricity used to run this machine. So it's usually a water base, and we meet all of the government standards. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, there you go, folks. I'm not sure
any
if you
other
have
questions
any more
for me
questions. We're still
there?
here, but we've gone through it a few times. You can always watch the replay as well too. These streams always get saved. So you can always go back and check it again.
And just to finish this up for the day, guys, please don't forget, we are running a today only special, $100 off when you buy the pair.
The pair.
Yep. So if you get your Pet Pro laundry machine, the mouthful that I can never remember, the MVW 6500 in Volcano Black or White, you'll get $100 off for the pair today.
All right. Well, that's excellent.
Awesome. Well, it was great seeing you and being here with you guys today. And if you have any questions, please send them through. And otherwise, you can watch the replay.
Yep. And thank you very much for the wonderful questions there, like Katie and Sandra and everybody else. So we'll be seeing you again. Can't wait to meet with the Maytag crew for a nice collaboration like this again. You've been very helpful. Thank you very much.
Yeah, anytime.
All right.
Take care. Have a good weekend.